What's up, Timber Kids? Hey, I'm Dylan. Welcome to Timber Kids Online.
I just wanna thank you 'cause everything you made is so beautiful. Every single star and every beat of my heart, and it's beautiful. I just wanna thank you 'cause everything you made is so beautiful. Every single star and every beat of my heart, and it's beautiful.
Hey, new month means new theme, and this month's theme is indescribable. Your Creator has no limits. But in order to fully get the full context of God, our Creator, we have to go back to Genesis. So check out this video.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story, inspired by the book of Genesis, chapters 1 and 2.
In the beginning. The very beginning. Before the first breath. Before the first flash of color. Before the first moment in time. There was nothing. Nothing. Nothing except God. But when God saw nothing, He saw a blank canvas. He saw the perfect backdrop for a work of art beyond imagination. So, God created. From absolutely nothing, He brought forth the heavens and the earth. But there was no shape or form. God's Spirit hovered over the dark emptiness. Then, God called out,
"Let there be light."
Brilliant light shattered the darkness like golden trumpets on a still morning. Bright rays shimmered and danced in all the hues of the rainbow. God saw the light was good. He divided the light from the dark, calling the light day and the darkness night. Evening and morning together shaped the very first day of all time. Then God said,
"Let there be a huge space between the waters. Let it separate water from water."
By His words alone, God shifted the waters, leaving a vast arching space above, the sky. Evening and morning rolled past, the second day. God lifted His voice again.
"Let the water under the sky be gathered into one place. Let ground appear."
Dry land shrugged its way out of the water. Islands and vast continents and gritty deserts and towering mountains. God called the dry ground land, and He called all the gathered waters seas. But God had even bigger plans for this day.
"Let the land produce plants, and let there be trees on the land."
In moments, tall grasses unfurled across the plains, and giant redwoods shot up from the dirt. Flowers and grapevines and carrots and corn sprouted and flourished. God saw that all of it was good. That evening and morning closed out the third day.
"Let there be lights in the huge space of the sky. Let them separate the day from the night."
At the sound of God's voice, the blazing sun exploded into being. The silvery moon spun out. Stars and galaxies flooded into space, filling the universe. Pew, pew, pew. God set the sun to rule the day, and the moon to rule the night. And God saw it was good. That evening and morning made up the fourth day. But God wasn't done painting His masterpiece just yet.
"Let the seas be filled with living things. Let birds fly above the earth and across the huge space of the sky."
Instantly, the seas and rivers and ponds writhed with dolphins and octopi, salmon and minnows. Eagles soared and bluebirds nested, while ostriches stretched their long necks. God saw they were good. That evening and morning formed the fifth day. But God kept working on His creation.
"Let there be livestock and creatures that move along the ground and wild animals."
At once, animals of every kind appeared. Elephants thundered through the forests, and squirrels darted up tree trunks. Monkeys chattered, and pigs rolled happily in the mud. God saw it was all good. But he had one more creation in mind.
Let us make human beings so that they are like us. Let them rule over the fish and the birds. Let them rule over all the animals.
Then, with his own hands, God formed the very first man and the very first woman, Adam and Eve.
I'm me. And you are you.
And this place? It's beyond words.
Unlike the animals, God made people in his image to reflect him.
Have children and fill the earth. Rule over the fish and the birds and every living creature. I am giving you every plant on the earth for food.
God looked over everything he had created and saw that it was very good. That evening and morning were the 6th day. And on the 7th day, God rested. I mean, his work was finished. His glorious creation was complete. But because God had formed people in his image, they too could reflect his imagination and creativity. The possibilities ahead of them were endless.
Wasn't that awesome? Here's the bottom line.
I am so excited we get to talk about creativity all month. I love being creative. I love making things and drawing things and painting things and creating. And that's no surprise because God made me. He created me and he made me like him. So I get to be creative because he's creative. And guess what? Same with you. God created you to be creative. And we're going to talk a lot about that this month. Do you have anything in your house that you created? Like maybe you have a sculpture and it sits on the window ledge of your kitchen maybe, and every time you're washing your hands you look at it and it makes you smile. You're like, I made that. That's exciting. Or maybe your fridge is just filled with all of your artwork. And you have paintings and you have drawings and you have all kinds of creative things on your refrigerator you made. Well, God makes tons of amazing things for us to enjoy. And sometimes we forget about it because they're always around, right? So this week and in the next weeks and maybe the next months and heck, all the years you're alive, I want us to change the way we see the things that God has created for us. So I'm going to show you something. I like to garden, and I have this bush in my backyard, and it's called a hibiscus. Do you guys know hibiscus? I always think of Hawaii when I look at hibiscus. They have a lot of them there, but I have one in my backyard, and it only blooms for a few weeks. It's a pretty short amount of time, but every day during those few weeks, I have new, huge flowers. They only last one day. So I better get out here every day and enjoy them, right? That's what I think. So I'm gonna show it to you. It's as big as my hand. Are you ready? Good. Actually, it's a little bit bigger. Look at this. Look at how big that is. And it's spectacular. And I love pink, so I'm really excited about the color. And look, I'm gonna have some more tomorrow. Look at that one's gonna come in. God made this plant and he knew I would love it. And I get to grow it in the backyard because he loves me and he wants me to enjoy his creations. I'm gonna show you something else. This plant's called allium, and every time I look at it, I think of Dr. Seuss. See if you do too. Aren't they kind of funny, those big round purple balls at the top of those long skinny stems? God has created so many wonderful things for us to enjoy. And you can find them all around. Like right now, if you looked around your house, do you have a house plant maybe? Or I don't know, a dog. God made your dog. And he knew that your dog would make you laugh. And I love that. I want us to go out into the world the next few days and weeks and forever with fresh eyes and say, wow, God, look at that sunset. Way to go. Because God's creativity has no limit. He made the rain and the rainstorm and the rainbow. And he made those beautiful little circle dandelions that you blow and make wishes with. Those are God. Basically, all the wonderful things that we see when we look around, the plants, the flowers, the wind, the birds, that's all him. And he did it because he loves us, because he wants us to be creative. The bottom line is this: there's no limit to God's creativity. And remember, it's your gift. It's the little gifts we have all around us and the big gifts we have all around us all the time. So get out and enjoy it. Make a list this week, 5, maybe 10 things that God created that bring you joy. Maybe it's a rainstorm. Maybe you lie on your back and you look up at a really tall tree and you see all the leaves and the sky is peeking out. Maybe you find a really funny cloud that makes you laugh. Write it down. Maybe the thing that you write on your list that maybe will surprise you is your brother. God created your brother. Even though sometimes it may be difficult to get along, there's some pretty great things about him too. Or your mom, or your cat, or that bird that wakes you up every morning because it's kind of right outside your window singing. God has given us so many incredible, beautiful creations all around us, and his creativity knows no limits. So let's go out this week and next week and appreciate it. We're so blessed.
Hey Timber Kids, let's get some exercise in. Get on your feet and let's enjoy some worship while we worship God.
1, 2, 3, 4. Hey everybody, we're going surfing. Oh, 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 yeah. Oh, it's a surfing salad. Oh, 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 yeah. We're going surfing together.
Thanks for joining us today. This wraps up our message, but if you want to continue to learn more about what we've been talking about today, feel free to check out the Parent Guide. Bye, friends.